You know what's better? A girl who could absolutely destroy you in a fight but chooses to simp for you instead. Here 10 romance anime where the badass girl falls for the boy. Let's go.
Naniを?
まったく、女子が体を冷やすものではない。そなたの服が置いてある場所まで戻ろう。
Seraphina is the strongest knight in the West, the kind of woman entire armies are scared of. So when she gets captured by barbarians during a war, she's bracing for the absolute redo of healer-level torture. Instead, the barbarian king Vior takes one look at her, decides she's waifu material, and proposes on the spot. Seraphina is furious and starts plotting her escape immediately, but the guy's kinder than she thinks.
不武なやつだの。
This one just started airing this spring. Some people hate it, some people love it. And I'm in the group that loves it because this is a surprisingly charming spin on the enemies to lovers thing. The manga's been putting up solid numbers in Japan for years, so there's already a built-in fan base rooting for it. Yeah, Captured Princess Gets a Marriage Proposal sounds like a recipe for red flags, but the show just pretty much dives into the culture clash comedy instead of anything creepy.
あんたがこの体の秘密を話すまで。言わなかったら、あんたが化け物だってみんなにバラす。
Suichi Kagaya is your average high schooler, except he's got a secret nobody can know. He can turn it to a giant fluffy monster. Clarioki finds out his secret almost immediately, and instead of being scared, she does something way weirder. She climbs inside of him through a zipper on his back and pilots him like a mech. Yeah, translate that however you may. Claire's hunting down some mysterious coins for reasons she won't fully explain, and Suichi gets dragged into her quest whether he wants to or not.
化け物が私を犯そうと。
Gleipnir leans hard into fan service, but harder than it needed to. It's that complaint you'll see over and over, but underneath all that, I thought it had a good mystery for a 13-episode show. This doesn't have an explicit romance angle, but Clara and Suichi's weird, strange relationship gets way more in depth than you'd expect. We still don't have a season 2, though.
俺はこんなゲームで殺されるのはごめんだ。
勝てばいいんだよ。
え？
勝てば、殺せば、あなたは生き残る。
Kids, this is why you shouldn't click mobile game ads. Kaname Sudo gets an invite to a mobile game called Darwin's Game from a friend who's already dead. Never a good sign. Turns out it's a real death game where players use special powers called sigils to fight for their lives. He quickly teams up with Shuka Karino, an absolute monster in a fight who can control anything string-like and take down grown men without breaking a sweat. She's also, somehow, his in-game wife, and my man's gotta survive the game with a waifu.
仕方ねえ奥の手。
The biggest knock on Darwin's Game is that it doesn't reinvent the whole death game wheel. Come on, you've seen this exact setup a dozen times in Sword Art Online and Battle Royale, but Shuka alone makes it worth the watch. She's elegant, she's terrifying, and she's basically the Mikasa Ackerman of this anime. Once again, this doesn't have a season 2, so if you love it, you can start praying for the anime gods.
君のおかげだ。君がいたからできたんだ。君最高だ。俺は君が好きなんだ。
If you're lucky, your girlfriend might just crash into your garage. Renton Thurston is sick of his boring life, dreaming about joining the legendary mercenary pilots called Gecko State. Then one day, a girl named Eureka literally crash lands her giant robot, the Nervash, right into his grandpa's garage. She's quiet, mysterious, and not exactly the most emotionally open person you've ever met. But my boy Renton starts sipping instantly. He ends up joining her crew, starts to pilot the big robot with her.
一緒に行こう。だって君じゃないとダメみたいなの。
People tell you the first 10 or so episodes are kind of a slog, and yeah, that's something I understand. But man, once you get past that, it's one freaking amazing mecha romance anime. Like watching Steins Gate, the first 12 episodes seem boring, but after the climactic episode, things explode fast. Renton and Eureka's relationship grows slowly and awkwardly, and that's some way better mecha romance than we've got in other shows.
静きなさい。レーバテイ。
Ike Iki Kurogane has the worst reputation at his Magic Knight Academy. He's the only F-ranked blazer in the whole school, and everyone calls him the worst one. Then Stella Vermilion, a foreign princess and genius A-ranked blazer, gets assigned as his new roommate. After the good old "oh no, I walked on a girl changing" encounter you've seen the last 7 billion anime, the two end up dueling and Stella loses. Now, she's stuck with Iki forever.
私どうしちゃったんだろう。
いや、それは僕が聞きたいかな。
Yeah, I know you people aren't very kind in this anime, but a lot of people called it generic, by the numbers, light novel stuff. And honestly, that's fair. But here's the thing nobody disagrees on. The romance between our boy Iki and Stella is legitimately one of the best in the genre. This isn't a harem where the girls just orbit the MC forever. Stella actually falls for him. They become a real couple, and if you read the light novel, there's more romantic progression than what SAO has done for the last 10 years.
男なんてみんな敵だ
待て。
Ryota Sakamoto is a 22-year-old unemployed dude who still lives with his mom. But in the gaming world, he's a legend, one of the best players of a combat game called Batum. Then the guy wakes up on a tropical island with no memory of how he got there, and someone immediately throws a bomb at him. That's when he realizes he's trapped in a real-life version of his own favorite game, and the only way out is to survive other players using actual explosives. This is where he teams up with Himiko.
タイマー式ビーム隠し持ってたのか。
Heads up, Batum never got a second season, so it ends on a pretty rough cliffhanger. That's the biggest complaint you'll find. But what we do get is 12 episodes of genuinely tense, gory survival action, way darker and grittier than something like Sword Art Online. Himiko goes through a brutal arc, and watching her slowly let her guard down around Ryota hits harder than you'd expect from a show about bomb fights.
お前に無視されてるなんてもう1秒も耐えられねえ。
喧嘩の次の日はいつもこれだ。一体どういうつもりで。
Tomo Aizawa is so tough and so tomboyish that random strangers mistake her for a boy on a regular basis. And that includes her best friend, Jun Kubota. When she finally works up the nerve to confess that she likes him, Jun completely whiffs it and thinks she just means as friends. So now Tomo's on a mission, and with her friend's help, to get this oblivious idiot to notice her as a girl.
むしろお前なんかいい匂いが。
Now I know friend zoning is a whole thing in anime, but nobody has ever mixed that friend zoning trope with a tomboy. And you can see why this one became a legit fan favorite the second it aired. It's not trying to be some deep romance. It's just a genuinely funny, sweet rom-com about a girl who could probably beat up half her school, finally getting the guy to see her as more than a sparring partner. Tomo will straight up bicker with Jun one minute and turn into a blushing mess the next. And you know, I'm not a huge fan of tsunderes, but I still kinda like Tomo as a character.
俺が君を月に連れて行くよ。約束する。
Oh yeah, time for the anime that pushed cyberpunk back to the top. David Martinez is just a kid trying to survive the Night City. When his life gets turned upside down, he ends up cybernetically enhancing himself to the max to become an edge runner. Basically a merc who lives fast and dies even faster. He joins a crew of outlaws, and that's where he meets Lucy, a brilliant guarded net runner who's been burned by this city before. She's not exactly looking for a relationship, and David's reckless as hell, but the two of them fall for each other while doing GTA 5 level heists.
ルーシー。
平気よ。
よかった。
Do you love insane animation? Do you love a soundtrack that goes absolutely hard? Cyberpunk Edge Runners has got all of that and gives some extra hype too. Studio Trigger basically went nuclear with this one, and David and Lucy's relationship is the real emotional core of the whole thing. It pretty much sent fans to nuts at the end of the season. I mean, look at the recent Wuthering Waves collaboration. Fans still love this show.
私この先の二道ってカフェでバイトしてるの。来てくれたらこのお礼してあげる。絶対来てね。
This one's a movie, so clear your schedule. Picking up right after season 1, Denji is still the chainsaw-headed devil hunter just trying to live a normal life. Eat good food, get a girlfriend, that kind of thing. Then he meets Reze, a waitress at a local cafe who's weirdly forward and immediately into him. Denji's already got complicated feelings for his definitely not evil-looking boss, Makima, but Reze is sweet, fun, and actually seems to like him back, which is brand new territory for the guy.
ボン
Come on, you know this is one of my favorites. I can write an essay about it. One, it's Mappa at basically peak form animation-wise, so visually this thing is insane. Two, the Denji and Reze romance gets real room to breathe before everything explodes into pure carnage. And three, it's a movie, so you can knock out the whole thing in one sitting with popcorn instead of waiting week to week. Besides, as I've always said, Reze is the best girl, and that's why this entire movie is worth it.
パートナーなんてまた作ればいい。作れなかったら奪え。
And the number one badass girl falls for the boy romance has to be Darling in the Franxx. Oh, come on, you should have seen this coming. Hiro is a washed-up kid who's never managed to sync with a partner to pilot his mecha, the Franxx, and he's basically given up on becoming a real pilot. Then he meets 02, a girl with small horns and a terrifying nickname, Partner Killer, because every boy who piloted with her before has ended up dead. Naturally, Hiro volunteers anyway, and the moment they sync up, the Franxx goes absolutely berserk and starts destroying aliens.
ちゃんと乗れてた。素敵だったよ。Darling.
You hear a lot of strong opinions about this one, but most people agree on the same thing. The first half is some of the best mecha romance ever made. Full stop. 02 instantly becomes one of the most iconic anime girls of her generation, for good reason. The back half gets way more divisive because Studio Trigger wanted to be Studio Trigger and had to cram in a space plot and a giant 02 in a wedding dress. But the romance between 02 and Hiro is still the best.